Last February I did a release for the patent pending learning label system. My goal is to define the system and show improved current functionality. This year there were several improvements and additions with the web, Android, and Windows apps. So that'll be the focus of this video. I'm going to skip defining the system again. Last year's video did a good job with this. More than 10 minutes were dedicated to that. So this video is accessible from the main website, www.skillslabel.com. Another good introduction to the system is in the book Learning Labels, a system to manage and track skills. If you're looking for use cases, design, and vision, that's a good start. A quick briefer, I summarize what we do in our slogan: map learning and skills, map jobs and skills, and combine them to create pathways. Our system is based on a hierarchy of elements connecting learning expectations to job requirements based on skills and skill quantifiers. In this release, I'd like to focus on the new and updated applications. So let's take a look. I'm going to reference this graphic showing the apps in Google Android. All the functionality in these apps are also part of the website and mobile website applications, and most of the functionality is also part of the two Windows 10 apps. Last year, there were 3 Android apps. Each of these apps were updated and currently on a second or third edition. There are now 9 Android apps. This is significant because each app has its own interface, set of use cases, and features. I was talking to a teacher about the Android apps and got a response, well, we use Chromebooks in our school. All the above apps are designed, built, and tested for smartphones, tablets, and Chromebooks. There's even designs for smartwatches and TV menus. For practitioners, my learning labels was added. This allows practitioners to manage grading, create series, and tasking with their learning labels on the go from the app. For learners, learning labels collections and skill syllabus were added. Collections is a tasking app. Learners can manage tasks represented as labels by defining their own collections and colors. Skills emblems, a responsive learning graphic representing queued and completed work, is also part of the app. What Learning Labels Collection does is to give learners acute knowledge of what and how they are learning, skills which may or may not be relevant for the rest of their life. In college, I remember frequently referencing a tattered paper resume in a binder. I always kind of say that. We're way past that now, but with the Skill Syllabus app, students can access their syllabi from a smartphone or desktop. And beyond a standard syllabus, the learning is summarized in skills, which can get tracked outside the confines of the classroom. In the middle, there are 3 apps for learners and practitioners: Learning Labels Search, Learning Labels Teams, and Learning Labels Profiles. These apps bridge practitioners with learners. Learning Labels Search includes functionality for students or workers to search to find learning tasks and jobs. The SERP includes learning and job labels. So a learner might add the result to their collection or share with their teammates. A practitioner might look for materials for a course, training, etc. They might clone or peer review tasks represented as learning labels. At this stage, there's only sample data in the system. I cannot say that the content is in place for effective context or skills-based searches, but the apps and framework is built and downloadable and free to work with. And all this is in place where organizations could start adding the content right away. There's now Learning Labels Teams and Learning Labels Profiles apps. These apps allow for individuals to portray their skill achievements and for teams to signal their skills among each other, pool resources, and see calculated team statistics. Some of this was influenced by my earlier work in skills-based approach, a methodology for lifelong learning. 2 of the stages were presenting and validating skills. In a book I published, I argue everyone benefits in knowing each other's skills. I say this because I always think it's good to apply a methodology as you build and design these applications. I'd also like to say now with the Learning Labels Profiles, all the elements, 5 of them, jobs, syllabus, projects, users, and learning labels, have complete websites supporting them with a unique URL. This is significant because it combines all the qualitative and quantitative information supporting the elements. Learning Labels Learner app for Windows was released. This puts together all the Learners app and the Android apps, figuring a learner is probably going to use them from a desktop or tablet. As said, not yet fully designed, but would like to work on Xbox too, hopefully, and maybe get the learning labels into games. With the website, there's now a uniform interface for managing the 5 elements. There's a separate mobile-first website interface designed for mobile and touch, and this is not simply responsive. I built the website originally responsive. This instead is designed specifically to target mobile use of the website. Different design, quicker, smarter, intuitive. But it's actually good enough where I share the links back and forth between the standard and mobile applications. So you might decide that you like to use the mobile application um, along with the website application. So now I'm going to go through and talk about the features and functionalities with the different apps. I'm going to use videos, 1 minute a piece for each of the apps. And all these videos are also supported on the main website, www.skillslabel.com. So I'll get started. Learning Labels Dashboard apps a way to manage learning pathways and dashboards. Could be subsets of the elements: job, syllabus, projects, lesson plans, learning labels, and users. Here I log in. As a guest account, I could sample. Below, there's a button to sign up. This is what the dashboard looks like. When I click on an element, it traces the pathway in color. When I make an assignment, you can see it flicker like a stock price as it updates the learning gains. I could choose different sections. If I'm a teacher, I probably don't need the jobs, maybe not syllabus. If I drag an element over the blue line, it removes it. I can parse lists. I can make them smaller subsets. I can start with an empty set, and I can add, if I click all references, I add the whole pathway. Then I can use this as a responsive grid to make changes. Learning Labels page, it's more context driven, it's informative. It's a way to see elements, trace pathways, see skill summaries in tables, and do peer reviews. I log in. I can choose my sections. Now the table automatically tabulates as I move through the elements below, so I could see the skills aggregated for each of the elements. If I choose to trace, I can see the color. It outlines the labels and assigned elements in color. I could choose Flash if I'm preparing for a task or an experience. If I choose Map, I could do a peer review. I could add elements into my pathway. This is Learning Labels Create. You can create any of the elements from Learning Labels Create. It's fully integrated now with Skills Parser. Helps speed up the process in creating the labels. I log in. I'm going to create a label. It's limited text entry. It's optimized for creating these quickly. It's also touch enabled. Once I do enter in any kind of context, the skills parser picks it up and suggests skills. As you saw there, it pops up with a suggestion of all the skills. You'll see it again as I enter the knowledge gain. Watch the bottom right corner. There it goes. Now there's different ways to add skills to the label. There's my default. I could suggest them. I could search on a term, web design. Then just select the skills. I can start to type. It gives me suggestions based on what I start to type. And here I configure the skills. Again, it's all touch enabled. It's meant to be accomplished really quickly. And I created a label. I could do the same with the other elements. This is my learning labels. This is a way from a smartphone to do tasking, grading, create series, and work with hierarchies. All subsets of your learning labels. Once I log in, the top part's the menu. It's meant to help you filter, sort, and search on terms to limit your data sets so you can find the labels you need to work with. Once you click on the tile, it gives you access to all the functions. This is tasking. I can assign a label to user, a project, or syllabus. Once I do that, I select the task or the user, and it automatically does the tasking. This is a series of this. You can do pass, progress, fail, like I do here. You can do pass, fail, or you can do 10 percentiles. Once you do that, as the learner progresses, they go through this series. This is a hierarchy. This is how they do that. This is how they navigate through the series based on their performance. It's kind of like a light LMS you can manage from your smartphone that's related to your learning labels and syllabus you have. This Learning Labels Collections. This is for learners to manage tasks by creating collections. They choose the name and color of their collections. It's also, they are familiar with the skills they're working on and skill emblems. So what it looks like, Everything's color coded. As I move through the different elements, I click on the menu and I see the labels that relate to that. You can see the archived and completed work. When you get to it, you can click on a tile and you see the label. If it's in your collection, you can move through the series. If it's not, you can add it to your collection and continue to move through the series, as I did there. This is the skills menu. I can see all the different tasks based on the skill I'm working on. Another way is the skills emblem. This separates the tasking based on queued and completed work and shows the aggregates as I work on the different tasks. And you'll see more of this in the Teams and Profile app. Skill syllabus. This is a way for learners to access syllabus. It includes all the syllabus fields and sections for learning labels and skill summary. To find syllabus or get the syllabus in the app, I search on a search term. This could be the title of the course, it could be the professor's name, it could be the subject. I could preview the syllabus before I add it to the app. As you can see, it's got a lot of content, a lot of information. I click on the link and add the syllabus. I might need a key for private access or approval by the professor. This summarizes what skills are going to be learned, how much time is going to be spent. And these are the labels, the tasks for the syllabus. And I can add them into my collections. I can swipe through them to quickly work through the labels, the tasking. As I said, it's fully comprehensive. All the fields of the syllabus are there. You can easily remove the syllabus by clicking on the button to remove that. And it saves all that information, and you can keep track of your learning out of the confines of the class. Skills label searches for learners and practitioners to search for learning tasks and jobs. The search result is always going to be learning and job labels. Search term is web design. This is the result of SERP. I could suggest the label, the result, to connections, learners, or connections of mine. I can do a peer review if I'm going to add it to my list or support somebody. I could search on a skill set. I could search on up to 5 different skills. This get the same kind of result, a list of labels that I can share, peer review. I can clone, add them to my collections. This is searching on jobs and returning job labels. I'm going to log out and log in as a learner, and I have different tasks. Again, I could share with my classmates, my teammates. I could add them into my collections. If it's already in my collection, I see them color-coded, bordered, color-coded with a border. This is Learning Labels Teams. This is for practitioners and learners to create, manage, and work in teams, signal skills among members, shows team summaries, and pool resources. I'll log in. I can see my connections. To join a team, you have to have a connection first, so you can see what their skills they have and what they're working on, and kind of build trust before forming that relationship with a team. A team is more intimate. You're going to share more with your team. There's a team contract. Certain stuff you have to agree with, and including that is a time limit. Once you do, you can see their emblems. You can see your teammates' emblems, what they're working on, what they've completed. You can make suggestions. And you can leave the team if that you're required. It's an intimate experience. There's messaging for connections. This is what the summary of a team looks like. It's skills summarized by all the team members and shows the min, max, and averages, and perhaps more information will be included as well. It's all using skill points. Learning Labels profiles, a way to create profiles to share publicly and among connections and team members. You log in. There's not a lot of fields. There's only 4 text fields. But the big one is a tagline, a 2-sentence kind of way to describe and track people to you. You could choose how you share your learning progress on a per label experience. And by emblems and labels, you can see what the profile looks like, and you can see what it looks like to a public viewer, to a connection, and a teammate. Can be different for each of them, depending on the permissions you choose. This is Learning Labels Learner for Windows 10. It combines collection, syllabus, and search into a single interface. Figuring, the user is probably going to be on a desktop or a tablet. So you can see the tiles and labels. You have the bigger screen. You can see the maps, flashcards, by labels and by tiles. These are skills and skill emblems. You can navigate to a syllabus. You select a syllabus and you can see the summary of the skills you'll be learning, how much time you'll be spending. Has all the other information of a syllabus. You can even get to the PDF if you'd like to. The search interface is part of the app. You can search on any terms, skills, sets, or context. The results are labels and flashcards that you can add to collections and share. I built a common website interface. This is just basically a dashboard of CRUD to create the elements online, and a common interface, a similar interface for all of them. So for the projects, syllabus, jobs, and labels. There's a pure dashboard too. This is what the project looks like. When you click on the project, it shows the skill summary. You can make assignments by dragging labels onto the projects, and then there's more information you can add. It's full CRUD, create, read, update, and delete. This is the syllabus dashboard. The syllabus at the top. By clicking on a syllabus, you see the summaries. By dragging them on top of each other, you make assignments. There's more going on with the syllabus. You're managing your students. You're sending invites to new students, and you're doing permissions. There's comprehensive fields. There's a lot to, learning expectation and course descriptions involve, a lot of context. So there's rich text for that. The jobs interface has both path dashboard and a learning labels and a job labels dashboard, because it's labels and paths with the jobs. There's also a lot of substantive information as well, so you can look at that as well. This is the mobile website. I made the website first responsive, and this is more directly at a mobile or tablet by design. It's quicker, and this is to create elements. I'm going to do a job this time. Before I showed you a learning label. Again, the skills parser goes to work as I add the context by suggesting skills. When I get out of this field, there it goes. Suggesting skills based on the context I'm entering, and there's all the different fields, so it's meant to speed up the process. Same added support for skills with the typing, the search, the suggest, the default. You can add new skills. Now I configure the skills with the job labels are separated into past experience and first year application of the skill. A little more going on, a little more time. There's also pathways. I could start to build the pathway for the job. If I know the syllabus I require, either to get the job or for the onboarding, I could add them there. This is the paged application for the mobile website version. Table sharp auto tabulates as I move through the elements. I could trace the pathway, shows all the elements marked. Quickly change between page to the dashboard. That's a quick change because it uses the same load. My syllabi. On the admin, it's a little bit different than the learner. Here I'm going to manage my students, and I'm going to verify or allow them access to the syllabus as they start to join. My teams. It's what teachers look like. I can click on a teacher and see all their resources and see the labels for the team. This is what it looks like for a learner. I see the skills emblem like I saw before. Below that, I could see the labels that all the information in the emblem is derived from. And again, the idea is with teams is that everyone kind of benefits from knowing each other's skills and skill achievements. And the summary is a little bit deeper here. When you click on the different aggregates, you can see who's doing what, who's in queue for the skill, who's already completed the skill, who's got the max, the average of the skill points are. This is the team interface on the website. I just wanted to show this really quickly. There's a little more going on. You can actually create subsets of your team, remove and add team members, and then do recalculate to see how that affects your strengths and weaknesses with the skills. This also introduces views with the when you're viewing a team member. You can see their emblems and labels. You can create windows and screens that you can share and make comparisons across the full screen. This assumes that you have a large screen, a desktop. To conclude, I'd like to make some final observations, thoughts, and suggestions. First, Skills Emblem and Skills Parser are represented as standalone websites, fully integrated into the apps as is shown in the video. Skills Parser works with the Learning Labels Create app. Skills Emblem is in the Collections, Profiles, and Team apps. Both these concepts are going to be important for our team as we move forward. Skills Syllabus still has its own website, but for security and practicality, the functionality is wrapped into Skills Label, so you can sign in from the Skills Label website. We're expecting a favorable response from the Patent Office. We heard a good review in December. I had not reviewed the patent in a long time, 2016-17 applications, but I was pleasantly surprised to see in the drawings a reference to apps. It shows the foresight and long planning and the design of the apps. My team's always been more interested in applying what's in the patent as opposed to sitting the IP, but we're glad to hopefully get a favorable response. I mentioned earlier, much of the data I shared with you today in the apps is sample data. The apps, database, and frameworks are built. I made clear in last year's release, our team feels we could work with schools, colleges, universities, and companies, and the practitioners feeding them with learning content and resources, publishers, game creators, VR experiences, to quickly index their resources with these learning labels. Once accomplished, this feeds all the other elements and quickly makes them relevant. 2 ways we already speed the process up. Skills Parser helps a lot by reading a block of content and producing a ranked list of skills, and also suggesting standards and requirements. Our goal is to create the learning labels and job labels automatically, something we reference in the patent. The other way is through the API and a multi-upload to bulk create the labels quickly. Once these labels get created, they get fed into all the apps and populate the data information, immediately making them relevant and useful. It becomes a system to really track and manage skills in education, higher education, and professional development. We're continuing to look for partners and organizations to keep moving forward. Schools and colleges should consider this summer as a good time to evaluate and give the system a try. Professors can use the skills syllabus, give it to their students, and it's a useful platform to work with. And more importantly, it's worth becoming forward-thinking and starting defining learning and skills in almost a scientific way. We have a good vision of where we want to be and stay relevant for many years ahead. We feel we are the first movers in really defining learning and jobs and skills this way. Please contact us if you're interested in learning more. Our website's an excellent resource, www.skillslabel.com. Hope to hear from you. Thanks.